Tom Cruise is the last movie star.
The end is inevitable, Maverick. Your kind is headed for extinction.
Maybe so, sir. But not today.
So, Top Gun Maverick came out this weekend, and I loved it. A lot of that has to do with Tom Cruise and the superstar value that comes from his absolute bonkers stunts, but we'll cover all of that a little bit later. This is why you go to the movies, the ultimate definition of the cinematic experience. Now, I walked in very excited, and the hype was there, but I was a little skeptical. Heard the praise from all my critic friends and the very unexpected Oscar buzz. I needed to pump the brakes. There's no way this film is more than just a cheesy action movie, right? Well, I'm very happy to report that this is more than just a cheesy action movie. The thing I love most about Top Gun Maverick is the ability that the writing has to both respect the past while also having a plot that doesn't rely on nostalgia. Now, of course, there's plenty of nostalgic moments and callbacks to the original, but there's some really effective emotional writing here. The arc of Maverick and Rooster is phenomenal, and I think being backed by fantastic performances from both Tom Cruise and Miles Teller elevates that material just that much more. I never expected a film like this to be as well written as it actually was, and I really, really loved that. The other thing I loved was the cast. I really, really like this cast. Everyone gets their moment to shine. Throughout the runtime, we find a reason to love each character. Miles Teller as Rooster, of course, is a standout, bringing the emotion necessary to portray the son of Goose. But I also have to give some honorable mentions to Glenn Powell as Hangman, Monica Barbaro as Phoenix, and Louis Pullman as Bob, for bringing really awesome performances to the screen and making this ensemble one of the best ensembles I've seen all year. But what are we here to talk about? We're here to talk about the flying. Now, CGI is a mainstay in Hollywood. Like it or hate it, that is the present and the very long future and road ahead. Very rarely do we get a film that is done almost completely practically, but this is a special exception. The aerial scenes are breathtaking and believable because they are real. Everything is done practically, which to me is just absolutely incredible. Seeing some of the things that we saw on screen blew me away to the point that I never thought I would ever be able to feel what it felt like to sit in the cockpit of a fighter jet. There was something about knowing it was done practically going in that made it even more surreal to me. It elevated the experience to a point that I could have never imagined. Real stakes, legitimate emotion on screen. You just don't get a lot of that anymore in blockbuster movie making. I have the utmost respect for every single member of the cast and crew that made this happen, because if it was all CGI, the magic wouldn't have been as impactful. You cannot replicate the faces of these pilots as they are going through the G's that they went through in this movie. Therefore, I really respect and enjoy it. Obviously, none of this would have happened without our leading man, Tom Cruise. Yes, it's finally time for me to examine why I believe Tom Cruise is the last true movie star in Hollywood. The arc of Maverick is very similar to that of Tom Cruise's career and his current status in Hollywood. Now, the film is a look at age, the definition of a human's prime, and the passing of the torch to the next generation. And it also looks at this really interesting question about when is enough enough? In Top Gun, Maverick is old. He's been in the military for the longest time, and he's unable to let go. With the enhancements in technology, his occupation is on the edge of extinction. He's still the best at what he does, but when is the right time to hang it up? That is what this film explores. And I found it very interesting because if you look at Cruise in Hollywood, it's kind of similar. Now, there are a few differences. He can continue to make movies for as long as he wants. He's not going to be pushed out. But the industry as a whole is changing, and changing fast. The standard summer blockbuster is being phased out in favor of large universe films like Marvel or Fast and Furious. And yes, I understand that Top Gun Maverick is a sequel, but I don't see that universe being expanded anytime soon. I think Top Gun Maverick is a really nice bow on top of the original story. But back to the main thesis of the video. Tom Cruise is the last movie star in Hollywood. When you think of the movie star, you think of Brad Pitt or Leonardo DiCaprio, or you think of Tom Cruise. The names that fill movie theaters and destroy box offices. Times have changed, and instead of star power, big franchises are now the way of the land. You would be stretched to find a film making $1 billion at the box office that is not backed by a huge franchise with IP that already exists. But Cruise is an anomaly. I understand it might be ruining the argument by using Mission Impossible as an example, but that franchise would not be what it is without Tom Cruise and the willingness to do his own stunts. And he continues to up the ante every single time. I mean, we've all seen the new trailer for the new Mission Impossible, right? You know he jumped off that cliff with that motorbike. I know you know because we saw behind the scenes clips, and they took that damn train and sent it off a bridge. Yes, they did. Sure, Mission Impossible is a popular franchise, but why? It is a successful franchise because you can sit at the water cooler the next Monday morning and say, did you see what Cruise did in that new Mission Impossible movie? No other star does that. There's no other celebrity in Hollywood that gets you in the seats as well as Tom Cruise. And Top Gun Maverick is the newest example of that. This film is crushing at the box office, and it's on pace to destroy Cruise's previous best opening by like double. People want to see our cast go through the trials and tribulations of actually being in a fighter jet because no one else is doing that on film. But Cruise wouldn't have it any other way. When negotiating around the making of this film, Cruise had one stipulation. They had to do it for real. He, as well as the rest of the cast, had to actually be in the jets for filming. The cockpit shots, they've been perfected in CGI as of late. I mean, we see it in The Mandalorian and others. But Cruise needed it to be real, because that is his form of filmmaking. The thing that I really like about Cruise is his commitment to the audience experience. In the clip that played before my screening, he said he wanted us to feel like we were in the cockpit with the pilots. He wanted us to feel what it was like to be a Top Gun pilot. And because they did it for real, it felt real. In the end, Tom Cruise is a defender of film and the cinematic experience in theaters. When asked if he wanted to take Top Gun and put it on a streaming service, he said absolutely not. It needs to be in theaters. While at times it may seem a little crazy, the results speak for themselves. And that's why he is the last actor that will single-handedly make you go to a movie theater. He continues to put his body on the line to give the audience the most incredible experience that anyone has ever seen. One of the examples that is most jarring to me is the infamous building jump in Mission Impossible Fallout where Cruise breaks his ankle. When you watch the behind the scenes, you see that even though he severely breaks his ankle and is suffering from a lot of pain, he finishes the shot because the shot is the most important thing, and you know that you weren't going to get a take two after that. In conclusion, while Leonardo DiCaprio is filming Killers of the Flower Moon for Apple TV Plus, and Brad Pitt is off filming Once Upon a Time in Hollywood with Quentin Tarantino, Tom Cruise is getting in a gosh darn fighter jet to give us one of the best blockbusters I've seen in such a long time. No doubt the other two are doing fantastic things and winning Oscars for said things. But there is only one true movie star left in Hollywood, and that is Tom Cruise. Eventually his time will come to hang it up. But for now...
Maybe so, sir. But not today.
I feel the need for speed. Guys, that is it. Thank you all so much for watching this video. This one was actually one of my more fun ones to kind of concoct and come up with, and when I was writing the script, I was really kind of digging deep into the making of this film as well as the makings of his other films, and I'm just so in awe of Tom Cruise as an actor and what he's willing to do to give the best product in Hollywood. I mean, I think we can all agree when we say that he just does it above and beyond anyone else when it comes to Hollywood blockbusters. I know people are going to come at me in the comments and say Leo and Pitt are probably much better actors, and I would probably agree with you on that. They have won Oscars for those roles, while Cruise also has been up for some Oscar contention as well. But there is no one doing the classic Hollywood blockbuster like Cruise anymore in Hollywood. It doesn't happen anymore. It is Tom Cruise, and that is it. But yeah, I want to thank you all so much for watching this video. Like I said, this was one of the more fun ones to do so far, and I really love this movie. I really do. Top Gun Maverick is currently my second favorite movie of the year behind The Batman, which I have an essay coming out for next week. But this was a really kind of jaw-dropping experience for me. And I was talking to my mom after watching the movie, and she was like, how are you going to rate it? And I said, I don't know. I really have to sit on this movie for a little bit before I give a proper rating. And I sat on it for a few hours before I sat down to actually kind of do my ranking and do my rating. Because there was so much I just needed to really think about and consume. And this is a jaw-dropping piece of cinema and one of the classic Hollywood blockbusters that we just do not get anymore in film. So please, if you have not already, go watch this movie. Go watch it in a theater, because that is the way to see it. Tom Cruise would not have it any other way. You need to see this movie in a theater. And let me know down below in the comments, what did you think of Top Gun Maverick? But that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you all for all the support on the new era of my channel. It really does mean the absolute world. But that's pretty much it, guys. Have a rest of your day, and we'll see you in the next video.